Well, survivors, it's DayZ's 10th anniversary this month, and this time they dropped a huge surprise on us nested inside a video titled Happy 10th Anniversary. Well, this video had a few clips and snippets from various streamers, along with many of the achievements that the game has obtained over the years. However, at the end, they dropped something special that has us all asking the question, is DayZ getting a new map in 2024? If you haven't seen the teaser that I'm talking about, well, here it is. So we get the image of the Yellow King, who has been a common character throughout the recent update trailers and appears to be walking down the end of a runway at what I imagine is an airfield. You might notice that the ground or the concrete looks different than usual, somewhat icy perhaps or oily. It also appears that the snow is falling. The character stops, looks up, catches a snowflake, and clenches their fist, and boom, the trailer ends. Very brief teaser. Not much to look at besides the actual runway itself, as it looks different from the other airfields in the game at first glance. When I saw this video, I wanted to be sure that this wasn't a teaser for Winter Chernarus or Winter Livonia and could indeed be its own map. So I went through the details I could find, and I'm happy to share I have a few reasons that lead me to believe that this is at least a brand new area in DayZ, or in my opinion, most likely a new map. So let's go through all of them. First off, there are a few things that stick out to me immediately as the teaser begins. You have the concrete, the number 35, the look of the runway, and the overall size as well. With these notes, I went around each of the maps and I even checked Namalsk to see if I could find exact similarities at any of the runways. I already knew that I would find similar patterns and designs because all of these airfields are based on true-to-life airfield designs, so I had to look for exact details. After looking at the airfields in Chernarus, Namalsk, and Livonia, I believe that the airfield in the teaser is completely different. The concrete texture is unused in any of the airfields, and if it is even a currently used texture in the game, I'm not sure where it is used. It sort of has this oily stain or icy frost look to it, and most of the textures within the current game in these runways are broken stone and concrete. Furthermore, these tiles and patterns are different sizes from any of the other tiles and patterns in the game at any of the airfields, so this supports the theory that this is something new. And finally, the number 35 listed on the runway isn't found anywhere else in the game. There are numbers, but none of them are 35 exactly. And since I wasn't familiar, I checked to see how runways are numbered to see if maybe they could add additions to the Northeast airfield or maybe the Northwest airfield. But simply put, airport runways are numbered according to compass bearings. Runways are numbered between 1 and 36, and they don't generally shift unless they change entire degrees of directions and angles. This most likely means that this isn't going to be some additional runway or addition to the current airfields, and is probably something new on its own. However, there is one exception to this, and that is Livonia, because Livonia's airfield is currently pretty barren. There isn't any paint on the airfield, and it is mostly underused. So in theory, if it was to receive a rework or an overhaul, they could increase the level of detail in the area, and it could end up looking like something in the teaser as a, let's say, Winter Livonia. But something tells me that's not what we're looking at. I also saw some players comment that they thought the ground texture reminded them of an aircraft carrier, and while that is a neat idea, it most likely won't be any type of aircraft carrier either, as these runway numbers are not painted on carriers in the same style or fashion as they are on traditional runways. And thanks for watching, by the way. I hope you're enjoying the video and finding the content informative and helpful, and please throw a like my way if you are, and subscribe to check out more if you are enjoying, and I also stream on Twitch if you want to check that out too. I also wanted to point out this strange spot down here I found, but I couldn't figure out exactly what it is. So if you have any ideas in the comments below, feel free to share. It almost looks like some sort of foliage poking through the ground, sort of how the small flowers and leaves sometimes poke through. You can also see some of the same coloring and shapes behind the figure as well. But like I said, I'm not sure what it is. It looks sort of weird, almost like toy jacks or something to that effect. And I went around and took photos of all of the flowers and foliage, and I tried to compare the two and couldn't find anything that looks anything close or similar. Another reason why I have suspicions that this is introducing a new area or map to DayZ is due to past updates. We've seen some new items added in recent times, items that don't make sense for a summer or autumn environment, items such as the winter coif, wool gloves, padded gloves, and more. Also, to further confirm something with the snow and winter season is coming, it looks like the developer Sumrak on Twitter also reposted this happy 10th anniversary video with this comment and snowflake. And I mean, after taking a look at the stuff stuff listed here, I think it's tricky to say exactly what we are going to be getting as DayZ players in 2024. I initially was thinking that development was slowing down for the game, especially with these slower and smaller updates in 2023. But now with it hitting its highest player count ever just within the last month, I think there is a bit of a refocus on the world of DayZ, especially after watching the dumpster fire that was the day before and seeing that really DayZ is sort of untouchable in the survival genre right now. If I was to guess when we would receive this new thing, whatever it is, it would be the big end of the year update or probably a mid-year update, similar to how we received reworks to Livonia and Chernarus around those times, but who knows? I think the big question is, are we going to be getting a new map, something perhaps smaller than what we've had in DayZ, or is this going to be a map expansion where they add a new airfield to a current area? One thing I immediately thought of was a previously canceled project for Arma 3 from the creator of Namalsk and also creative lead for DayZ, Sumrak. This mod was called Dead Air. Many concepts of this project ended up teaching him about creating Namalsk for DayZ, but still so many of these ideas are completely unused. And I look at this map and some of the screenshots from this map and wonder if some of the style and its airfields will find its way into this new DayZ area or map. And while this was a canceled project, and let me tell you, I have some serious doubts that this new thing, whatever it is, will be related to Dead Air in any fashion at all, I do think it's fun to look at some of the work that has come from the creative lead of DayZ as something to think about as talks of a new map begin to stir. If DayZ gets its first official map being created from the ground up for DayZ, what size would it be? How many secrets or how much lore is going to be shared? And I think in the coming months, we're going to have more answers to these questions, but we'll also probably have more questions for our questions. I still have my reservations, as you know, this could seriously be just a Livonia rework for winter time, but let's be honest, everyone has wanted a new official map for quite some time. And the team working on DayZ right now, I think they could really deliver something special. Again, I don't want to get your hopes up. I don't want to get my hopes up. It's also worth mentioning that the developers discussed in a vlog that having too many maps can sometimes split the player base, and they as a DayZ team enjoy the selection of their maps and didn't have anything planned at the moment. And I could certainly understand that there's a fear that if you make a cool new map, that perhaps Livonia would then be unplayable with a full population for, you know, quite some time. But I think whichever way it works, with DayZ achieving its highest player count of all time, a new official DayZ map sort of seems like the next step in development if DayZ were to continue. Because let's remember, folks, Chernarus and Livonia are both borrowed from Arma already. So DayZ getting its first official map built up for the game would be a massive step forward for the game and the development of the DayZ franchise. Anyways, that's all I got for you today. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments, if this is some sort of new map expansion, or is this something like a redone Livonia. Be sure to stay tuned for the next one, as I'm going to be talking more about new teasers and updates and things for DayZ and also other survival games as we kick off the year in 2024. And I will see you at the next one.